Hello and welcome to James Bond, or Bond, James Bond that is. Yes, another Friday and we've got another movie, another spectacular 007 from Russia with Love review, or just talking about the movie. Now, I will go over some of the facts, some of the production notes on probably a, sorry to say this, Wikipedia, but I will nonetheless give you some little bits of facts. But I, again, love this huge franchise that spanned decades upon decades, and still going strong. Well, we are all Bond enthusiasts or watchers, or maybe you're not, but I think just quietly, I think everybody's intrigued and interested and somewhat excited to see who may be the actor to portray the Bond character. May it be a younger actor, or maybe in the same age as they look before, in the 40s to 41 to 45 range of age. But nevertheless, whoever it is, he will be fantastic. But from Russia with Love, Ian Fleming's 7th Bond book to be put on celluloid and filmed. Terence Young, of course, directing, and of course Sean Connery back as the titular Bond, James Bond 007 character, bringing in Desmond Llewellyn as Q and Bernard Lee as M, also with Miss Moneypenny being Maxwell, and then you have the other actors, which I will go in a little bit more detail, not that much, but a little bit more detail. Anyway, sit back and join me on the P.G.M show here with you as I talk about and review my take on this wonderful franchise, MGM UA franchise, 007 James Bond from Russia with Love review. This movie kind of follows on from Dr. No, as this is a whole new mission, a brand new book from then of those days in 1960s. 007 returns for another action-packed thrill ride, spy, novelty, adventure, action, and intrigue, and hunting down a decoder lector where they can actually detect codes from different countries. This is set in a Cold War atmosphere of Istanbul, where James Bond from M has to go. There is gadgets in this one, not so in Dr. No, but we find out this gadget is a briefcase with a knife hidden in one compartment, sovereigns, 20 sovereigns I think, in a compartment, and then tear gas. And if you open the briefcase the wrong way, it opens up with explosion in your face of tear gas. So, very novel. We get, yes, Desmond Llewellyn comes in to play the titular character of Q, and he does it for a remarkable feat of 20 or so films of the James Bond franchise. Alright, I told you guys I would be reading some factual information, and here we go. From Russia with Love film. From Russia with Love is a 1963 spy film and the second in the James Bond series, produced by Eon Productions, as well as Sean Connery's second role as MI6 agent 007 James Bond. The picture was directed by Terence Young, produced by Albert R. Broccoli and Harry Saltzman, and written by Richard Mailbaum and Joanna Harwood, based on Ian Fleming's 1957 novel From Russia with Love. In the film, Bond is sent to assist in the defection of Soviet consulate clerk Tatiana Romanova in Turkey, where Spectre plans to avenge Bond's killing of Dr. No. The film followed Dr. No 1962 and was followed by Goldfinger 1964. As we go on, following the success of Dr. No, United Artists greenlit a sequel and doubled the budget available for the producers in addition to filming on location in Turkey. The action scenes were shot in Pinewood Studios, Buckinghamshire, and in Scotland. Production ran over budget and schedule, as was rushed to finish by its scheduled time, October 1963 release date. For Russia with Love was a critical and commercial success. It took in more than $78 million worldwide box office receipts, far more than its $2 million budget predecessor and more than Dr. No's first film, thereby becoming a blockbuster in the 1960s cinema. The film is considered one of the best entries in the series, both by critics and general audiences. In 2004, let's speak English, Total Film magazine named it the 9th greatest British film of all time. It was the only Bond film to appear on the list. It was also the first film in the series to win a BAFTA award for Best Cinematographer. Okay, continuing with a little bit more facts. Following the financial success of Dr. No, United Artists greenlit a second Bond film. The studio doubled the budget, often to Eon Productions with $2 million, and also approved a bonus for Connery, who would receive a $100,000 along with his $54,000 salary. As President John F. Kennedy had named Fleming's novel From Russia with Love among his 10 favorite books of all time in Life magazine, producers Broccoli and Saltzman chose this as the following up to Bond's cinematic debut in Dr. No. The comma in the title of Fleming's novel was dropped before the film's title, From Russia with Love, was the last film President Kennedy saw at the White House on the 20th of November 1963, before going to Dallas. Most of the crew from the first film returned, with major exceptions being productions are Ken Adam, who went to work on Dr. Strangelove and was replaced by Dr. No's own art director Sid Kane. Title designer Maurice Binder was replaced by Robert Brown John. Stunt coordinator Bob Simmons was unavailable and was replaced by Peter Perkins. Though Simmons was performing stunts in the film, John Barry replaced Monty Norman as composer of the soundtrack. The film introduced several conventions which would become essential elements of the series' pre-title sequence. The Blofeld character referred 2 in the film only as number 1, though Blofeld is mentioned in the end credits with the actor labelled as a question mark. A secret weapon gadget for Bond's helicopter sequence repeated in every subsequent Bond film except The Man with the Golden Gun. A postscript action scene after the main climax. A theme song with lyrics and the line James Bond will return back in the credits. Absolutely devastating in that history alone, with President Kennedy liking the film From Russia with Love, and then that was his final movie, which is stated in that bit of news. Unfortunate, sad, but moving on, this garnered a successful Bond outing for the Eon Productions, P.G.M, Albert R. Broccoli, and Harry Saltzman. With that information about the song and the sequence titles being placed into these Bond films, Matt Monroe's song was the end title sequence for From Russia with Love. And the famous gun barrel being the titular character of this movie franchise, being the first thing you possibly and will see whenever you watch it again and again over the years and decades, is iconic on its own. Here's a little bit of the synopsis of the movie. James Bond is assigned by his superior M to help a young Russian girl, Titania Romova, who has declared her desire to defect from her job as a clerk in the Russian embassy in Istanbul. With an indelible electric cipher machine, believing herself a willing tool of her government, Titania is the pawn of Spectre, a group of international criminals who plan to use the beautiful Russian girl to lure Bond to his death, and to confound both the British and Russian Secret Service agencies. In the intriguing atmosphere of Istanbul, Bond is aided by Karen Bay, the Turkish agent for the British Secret Service, who Bond comes to respect and admire. After eluding several death traps in Istanbul, Bond and Titania escape abroad, or they're going to abroad, through to London on the Orient Express. Spectre has assigned their cold-blooded killer Grant kill and discredit the famed British agent in hand-to-hand combat. Bond triumph over Grant in the close quarters of his train compartment. One of my favorite Bond fights. I think the fight, the hand-to-hand combat, of course, in the train quarters, cubicle, whatever have you want to say. If that makes any sense. Okay, just reading on. He later fights an unequal battle against the Spectre helicopter and makes a desperate dash across the Gulf of Venice in a speedboat, chased by a horde of enemy agents in Venice. He faces the final attempt on his life when Rosa Klebb, the monster, well, that's basically what she is. She's a monster, if I can get my words out. The master planner of the Spectre murder organization makes a personal bid to kill him. Cast is Sean Connery reprising his role as 007, James Bond, Daniela Bianchi, Pedro Ramirez, sorry, I probably stuffed that up, Lottie Lenya, Robert Shaw, Bernard Lee, Eunice Gayson, Walter Gotthell, the fastest he was, Lois Maxwell as Miss Moneypenny, Eliza Gurr, Martine Bestwick, Ladette Seidel, probably, sorry, something like that. Anthony Dawson, I'm terrible with names, and Desmond Llewellyn, and Q Layla as well. Producers Harry Saltzman, Broccoli, director Terence Young. Release date 10th of October 1963 UK, 8th of April 1964. So, a year after the movie was released in the UK. World premiere 10th of October 1963, Odeon, Worcestershire Square, London. Locations: Istanbul, Turkey, Venice, Italy, Scotland, and Pinewood Studios, UK. Vehicles, of course, gonna get the vehicles in here. James Bond's Derby Green Bentley MK 1963. Probably stop that one up too. Well, the Klebs arrives at training camp in UH-12 Freedom. Helicopter Bulgarian agents Citrian Leban Legre. Camera Days Rolls Royce Silver Wraith. Orion Express Train. Chevrolet CV3 flatbed flower truck. Spectre hit the UH-12. Helicopter Bond commandeers a Ferry Huntress 3 powerboat. Spectre men in Ferry Huntsman 28 powerboats. From Russia, this is the music from Russia with Love, performed by Matt Monro. I love the song. It's such a good song for that film. And of course, there is Walter PPK, 7.65mm. And the Trick Attaché case. It contains 40 rounds of 25 caliber ammunition in tubes hidden beneath two of the studs. Built into the lower section of the top is a flat throwing knife released by a button concealed beneath the right latch. Inside the case, it is a modified Armalite AR-7 folding sniper rifle with infrared telescope in the base of this case. 50 gold sovereigns. I was wrong, and it was 50, not 30 or 20, what I was saying. A tear gas cartridge disguised as a tin of talcum powder attaches magnetically to the top of the case. The latches must be turned horizontally before opening, or the cartridge will explode. Bug detector as well. When he goes into the hotel for his room, for his first room anyway, he is monitored by downstairs by spies or something downstairs. As always, he gets out his bug detector, and the bugs are on the bottom of the telephone, in the chandelier, and on the wall behind a painting. How cliche is that? But it's fun as you hear the roar and subsequent bonding coming into it. And I always thought that was a little bit out of place sometimes in that, but you've got to give and take it. It's 1963. It's a Bond film. We've got to have the Bond theme somewhere, don't we? So there we go. John Barry, of course, again, one of the brilliant composers of Bond films for a long time. has scored this beautifully and brilliantly. I love the score, and I'm just now talking about this film with all its spying, intrigue, and all its skullduggery, and all its fine darkness of Cold War aspect to it, of spy gets spy, and getting elector, and getting to decode messages of the enemy. Just brilliant. It's well told by Ian Fleming. It's actually well told by the director Terence Young, and well played by Sean Connery. One of the best, as we've heard. One of the best successes being its box office take, and it'll go down in history as really one of the best films of the James Bond era of 1960s. I don't know if that made any sense whatsoever, but as I kind of wrap this one up, I just want to say I love this movie. I keep on saying that in any review or just talking about it as I parrot myself every time. What am I saying about the Russia with Love film? What is there to say? It's full of espionage, it's full of spying, it's full of getting a secret lector, which is a box from a beautiful woman who wants to defect. It's a story of maybe a love story, but I don't think it is. I think it's just a story of getting a secret decoder machine, and plus getting a woman who was trapped in a clerk situation that she got involved with Smash, but really it was Spectre with Rosa Klebb coming in to be a very nasty, horrible, hateful woman who wanted revenge. Also with this chess prodigy or this chess master who planned this whole thing, but really evidently he got poisoned by number one's henchman, who then the chessman died. It is really number one is Blofeld, who's pulling all the strings, Inspector, and then all this intention of revenge didn't work out, but the Bond is Bond. He will work it out. I mean, he did an amazing fight between Grant and him in the Orient Express cabin, but even Bond didn't know that Grant was working for Rosa Klebb and Spectre until they went through the this whole rigmarole of Grant killing the guy who was supposed to meet Bond on the train, and the fight in the camp where they had to stay for a while, the gypsy camp where they had to stay for a while, had something to do with Gillian Bay's life, and he was under threat, and I thought at first that, is there a link? But really it wasn't, because Grant shot a guy in the back for Bond, just to keep him alive. Just so Bond can actually find the Lecter and be working for Spectre without knowing it. So that's that intrigue and that mystery behind it. And when it all solved, when Bond solved the whole entire storyline, yes, he did save the woman in distress. He did save the woman, damsel in distress. I mean, he did save it. She defected to London, but really, with Rosa Klebb coming into it and trying to kill Bond and trying to steal the Lecter, and then being Titania Romanova shooting Klebb and killing her, there is some signs that she was under that duress of Rosa Klebb and Smash. Now that's solved. It's just, spies on spies and the espionage on espionage and all this darkness. And the story had detail, but it's told it so simply. And really, we can thank Ian Fleming for that. We can actually also thank him for participating in this Bond film franchise that is spanning decades upon decades and still going. So I will leave you with that. Actually, I will leave you with this, because the photo of Sean Connery as James Bond holding not a Walther PPK. Now the Walther PPK, they actually, when they were shooting the pictures for this film, they didn't have a Walther PPK, so they had to actually find a gun for James Bond or Sean Connery to hold in this picture. So there you go, the picture with James Bond holding almost a Luger, really, of a weapon. So there is that little tidbit. Anyway, so thank you for listening to me prattle on. Again, I hope that made sense. And I hope I didn't prattle on. If I am wrong in so many comments, please comment them down below. Tell me what you think, and tell me if I'm wrong. That's fine, I'll read the comments as well. I'm probably am basically wrong with some of these facts and some of the waffle on storyline. But anyway, until next time, yes, it's Goldfinger next time on this huge look at the Eon Productions, MGM logo productions of 007 James Bond film and film franchise that's spanning years and decades long and still going. Anyway, from me, Peter Gordon McKinnon, on the P.G.M show, please take care, stay safe out there. To everyone, each and every one of you, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.